Hello everyone, it is Sensei Ichi, and this is Martial Arts Monday. We are stuck inside. So what else do we do while we're stuck inside? Well, we train martial arts, of course. Our lives cannot stop just because we cannot physically go to our schools. Here's the top 5 ways you can keep training your heel kicks, even if you're at home. Let's get started. Here we go. Oh hey, I didn't see you there. Today we're gonna train the heel kick using a broom. It's really fast because it goes broom broom. Because whatever, I should have stayed at home. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this broom as almost like a pivoting point, like a peg leg on a pirate. So I start my fighting stance position, my elbows tucked in nice and tight. I'm gonna pivot off my front foot, and I'm gonna use this to help keep my balance. The purpose of keeping your balance and doing this slow is that way you can work on every tiny detail of the kick, because if you just practice it fast, it's probably gonna look all funky. So as I start, I pivot off my front foot, I'm gonna turn my head. Once I turn my head, I'm gonna put my broom behind me so I have a good anchor point there. From that spot, I'm gonna bring my knee up to fold, I'm gonna extend it at my 45, I'm gonna bring it across. Now at this point, I can move the broom around to kind of counterbalance that. So as I get to my second 45, I recoil. As I pull through, the knee comes in nice and tight, I recenter the broom and I put it right behind me. Look at that beautiful balance, thanks to Senor Broom. So make sure while you're pivoting that you choose the correct pivoting points. You wanna make sure you balance yourself properly. There's probably gonna be about 3 separate movements you're gonna do using the broom. So again, we pivot off the front foot, we look over our back shoulder, we put the broom behind us, we fold at the 45, we extend our foot, pull it all the way through, find our second counterpoint, recoil as we pull through, and then we put it behind us, and then we go. And the faster you get at it, the faster it will be, and the less likely you're gonna need the broom. Okay, so that is how to train heel kick with the broom. On to the next one. Okay, so the next thing we can do is we can train using the floor. The floor is our friend because we don't have to worry about falling because we already fell. So be careful. We're gonna start on our side like we did before. You know what, I'm gonna do my left because I always do right, so let's balance it out. If you work one side too much, you're gonna be susceptible to injury on the other side because one side is gonna be stronger than the other and they're gonna have to compensate, and it's gonna use bad small muscles that aren't meant to be used, and it's just a long story. We'll talk about it some other time. What we're gonna do to start, just like we did before, we started at 45. Knee tucks in, I put the foot out in front of me, and I bring it all the way through, and I could use the ground to swivel now. I recoil it, and I posture back up, and I sit again. And the important thing to add about this is that you have to practice good hip turn. If you don't practice good hip turn, then you're practicing bad technique. Hip turn is so important in a heel kick because if you turn your hip up and over, your toes go up, and guess what? I'm not hitting with the back of my heel anymore. You always wanna make sure you're hitting with the back of the heel. Very, very important stuff, okay? So I'm folding it at 45, the hip is turned over, almost like a side kick. I bring it all the way through and I follow through. The follow through is super crucial. So as soon as you turn the hip over, heel goes all the way through to the second 45 point. I recoil it and I posture myself up, my knee up in the sky. I bring right behind me and I posture up to my fighting stance position. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna train with is, one sec. Is one of these bad boys, the swivel chair. So if you don't have a swivel chair at home, I'm sorry. Now the beauty of the heel kick is that we are going to use a circular motion, and the best part about the swivel chair is that, guess what? It turns in a circular motion. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up the swivel chair seated. I'm gonna get in my fighting stance position and put my kicking leg in the front. So I'm gonna start at a 45-degree angle, just like we did before. And as I start, I'm gonna hold onto the back of the chair so I can work on my posture. One of the most important parts of kicking is having good core strength. So if you hunch it all in, no core strength that way. You're being lazy and you're not letting your core engage and really let it hold you up tall. So I'm gonna start at a 45. I'm gonna fold for the kick, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna practice slowly. I'm gonna stick the foot out. I'm gonna use my foot on the ground to help swivel me around. Once I get to my second 45, I recoil, I swivel around again, and I put it behind me. So I'm gonna start like I did before. Start at my 45, elbows in nice and tight, knee tucked in, foot pointed where I wanna go. Stick the foot out with hip turn. I bring it all the way through. I recoil it at my 45, and then I keep putting it behind me as I swivel, and I end in my fighting stance position. Thanks, bud. That'll be all. Okay, on to the next one. Now we're gonna train using the wall. So when we use the wall, it's sometimes good to train at something. So we're gonna use that as our focus point. Now, you could put anything here. You could put a chair, you could put a friend, you could put a lamp, you could put anything. This is good to train with because you know where your 245 points are now. This is your center target, which you want to hit: somebody's face, a hand target, a turtle shell. I don't know why I said that, but you have 3 focus points. You have your folding point, your kicking point, and your recoiling point. So I'm gonna hold onto the windowsill here and have my hand up on my face. I'm gonna be folding at my 45 here, stick the foot out, come all the way through. This is my striking point. I'm gonna follow past that striking point. I'm gonna recoil, and then I'm gonna put it back behind me to end in my fighting stance position. So to start, you could practice by holding onto it, doing just the kick portion with the follow through and recoiling down. And then after that, once you get really good at it after a couple of days of quarantine, then you could start in your fighting stance position, pivot off your front foot, look over your back shoulder, hold onto the sill, look over, kick, come through, and then let go. I don't want you to get in the bad habit of kicking and recoiling in the center, so make sure that as you are doing this, start slow. We do want to start slow so we can emphasize the fact that we're going to be folding, extending all the way through, recoiling, and then putting it down. Very important thing. So I'm in fighting stance, I pivot, I look, windowsill, kick, let go, and then you can progressively just turn up the speed. Start slow, then medium, then fast. Just make sure that when you do put your hand down, you don't miss. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay. Now for the 5th and final way. You're gonna use absolutely nothing but yourself. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put that front foot in the floor and I'm gonna pivot off the front foot. I'm gonna look over my back shoulder. I'm gonna fold for the kick, open it, bring it through, recoil it, put it behind me. So that's what it's gonna look like when I do it by myself. I've been training hard enough, then theoretically I should be able to do both sides, right and left, slowly with as little wiggle as possible. In time, your balance will improve. Your core strength will improve. Your coordination, your technique, all those things will improve. But in the beginning, you're going to suck. Admit it. I know it's a terrible thing to say in a tutorial video, but it's reality. It's real. You're not gonna be good at this. This is like surfing. You never get up on the first try. It's always gonna take time. It's always gonna take practice. I recommend as a good warm up, do 10 slow on the left, 10 slow on the right. It's a really fantastic warm up. You'll feel it in your obliques and your core immediately. So when I mean slow, I mean real slow. Front foot pivots, knee bends, look over the shoulder. I bend my knee and I stay in a partial squat. Low center of gravity means good balance. I bring the knee up, the bottom of the foot points, I extend. I come all the way through. I recoil and I pivot, knee comes in, put the foot down, boom, and I'm done. So that's the final way to heel kick. Let's close this baby out. All right, party people, that about wraps it up. If you like what you saw, please click the thumbs up. Now, if you enjoyed this and this is your first time watching, welcome. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you want to watch more videos like this, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every single time a video comes out and you can check it out and be the first one to see it and enjoy the living daylights out of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Sensei Ichi. Until next time, guys. Tang Su.